Hello boys and girls, welcome to the Math Club. In this video, we're going to talk about tree diagrams and how to use them to express dependent events. The key point here says, if one event depends upon the outcome of another event, the two events are dependent events. For example, removing a red card from a pack of playing cards reduces the chance of choosing another red card. A tree diagram can be used to solve problems involving dependent events. Now, as the key point says here, we understand the meaning of dependent events. It means that these events depend on each other. So, the outcome of one event depends on the outcome of the first event or the other event. Now, let's take a look at a question and see how do we answer questions about dependent events. Question 8. In a game of Scrabble, these letters are left in the bag. As you can see here, we have 5 letters. Now we have E, E, so 2 E's, and then we have 3 I's. And all of them are 5. First question says A player removes a letter E from the bag and doesn't replace it. What was the probability of picking an E? Now, he said what was the probability. So the beginning of picking a letter, what is the probability of picking an E? Very good. We have 2 E's and all of them are 5. So it's going to be 2 out of 5. So we write it like this, 2 over 5. Good. Let's write it here, 2 over 5. This is A. Now, question B, how many letters are left in the bag? After he took the E and he didn't put it back, he doesn't replace it. So because he doesn't replace it, it means what? It means that these events are dependent. Very good. The outcome of the event or the next event depends on the outcome of the first one. Now, if he doesn't replace the E, how many cards are left in the bag? Very good. He leaves 4. So we write 4. Good. This is B. Now, question C, the next player picks a letter from the bag. What is the probability of getting an E this time? The first time he picks E. Now, the second player will pick another letter. What is the probability of getting E? Very good. It's 1 out of 4. Good job. So it's 1 over 4. We write it here. 1 over 4. As you can see, the probability of the first E was 2 out of 5. And the second E was 1 out of 4. Now the probability changed between the two events. They're not the same, but we're talking about the same letter. Now, because the probability changed, this means that these events are dependent. So they depend on each other. Now, question D here says copy and complete the tree diagram. Let's take a look at the tree diagram and complete it together. And remember, this is the first pick, or this is the first picking, and then this is the second one. And when he picks a card, he keeps it. So we have to remove it from the pack of cards or pack of letters. Now, let's copy them and complete them. First, we're going to talk about the probability of picking E the first time, which was what? Very good. 2 out of 5. So we write it here, 2 out of 5. Good. Let's make it smaller here. And the probability of picking an I is what? Very good. It was 3 out of 5. 3 out of 5. Good. Now this is E and this is I. Good. Now, after picking an E, he will keep it. So we will lose 1 E, so the next probability of E will be 1 out of 4, as we said here. Now, and the probability of I is what? Out of these 4 letters, it's going to be what? 3 out of 4. Good. Now let's write it. 3 out of 4. Now this one happens if he keeps an E. So we lost one E out of two E's and they became one. Good. Now here, if he went this time, here, if he went this way, he will take an I and he will keep the I. If he keeps the I, we will have what? Very good. We will have two E's and two I's. Now, the probability of picking an E after that is 2 out of 4. Good. And the I is the same, 2 out of 4. Because we will have two E's and two I's. And the probability of picking them will be 2 out of 4. Very good. Now, like this, we completed the diagram. Now, after completing the diagram, let's answer some questions about the tree diagram and these two events. Question E. What is the probability that 1. Both E's are picked? Both E's are picked. Now, when he's saying both, it means in the first try and the second try. You can't take only the first one. He has to go through a line like this or like this. Now, he said both A's. Now, he said both E's are picked. So we're going to pick E the first time, which is this one, E, and then pick another E, which is this one. And then take the probabilities and multiply them by each other. So we have 1 over 4 multiplied by 2 over 5. And the answer will be, very good, 2 out of 20. Now let's write it. So both E's are picked, 2 out of 20. Let's write it here. 2 out of 20. And we understand how we answered this. We just followed the line of picking E's, the first E and the second E. We took the probabilities, we multiplied them. Very good. Now the second one says 1 E and 1 I are picked. 1 E and 1 I are picked. Now he didn't say if the first one is E or if the last one is I. He said 1 E and 1 I. So we have to mix them. We will start with the first card as E and the second one I, and then we will take the first one as I and the second one as E. Find the probability of these and then add them together, like we said before. So basically, 1 E, 1 I, so we follow E, I. First E is this one, and then the I is this one. So we take the probabilities, multiply them together, and put it here. So 2 on 5 times 3 on 4 is going to be 6 on 20. 6 on 20. So for this one, we have 6 on 20. Let's write it here. 6 on 20. And then this one, if the first one was an E and the second one was an I. Now we're going to go the opposite way, in which we're going to say the first one is an I. So the first one is an I, is here, and the second one is E. Same idea, we multiply them by each other, we will get 6 over 20. 6 over 20. So we write 6 over 20 here for the second choice, and we add these together. So they're gonna be what? Very good, 12 over 20. 12 over 20. Good job. So 12 over 20 is the answer of picking E and I. And it doesn't matter if it's the first one or the second one. So 12 over 20 is the answer for this one, as I said. Because we found the probability of picking E first and then I second, and then find the probability of picking I first and E second, and then we add them together, as we did here, and the answer will be 12 over 20. Now, number 3, a vowel is picked. What is the probability of picking a vowel? Now, as you can see here, all of these are vowels. So the probability of picking a vowel is 100%. Whatever card you're taking or whatever letter you're picking is going to be a vowel. So the probability of picking a vowel is 1. Good. That's the idea. Or you can say 100% that he's picking a vowel. It's not a problem. Now, question F. In question F, the second player needs an E to win the game. What is the probability that he will win? Now, if he needs an E at the end of the game, or at the end here, he must have taken an E at the beginning or an I. So depending on what he's taking, we're going to follow the line of probability. So first things first, we will count that he took an E and he needs an E at the end. So we find the probability of this lane or this line, and then we find if he took an I and then an E. So we find the probability of this one and then the probability of this one, and then we add them together. That's the idea. So the probability of the first one, which is 2 on 5 multiplied by 1 on 4, is 2 over 20. So this is the first one. We write it here. We write 2 over 20. Let's put it here. 2 over 20. And then we add the probability of the second one. So we found this one. Now we find the probability of the second line. Now the second line is 3 over 5 and 2 over 4. When you multiply them, you will get 6 over 20. So we write 6 over 20. And then we add them together, they're going to be 8 over 20. Very good. So the probability of picking a second E is E over 20. This is the idea of this question. Now, as the question said, what is the probability of picking a second E? That's the idea of the question. So basically, to pick a second E, you have to pick a first E or a first I. And then after following the lines of the first E and the first I with a second E, both of them, and then finding their probabilities and adding them together, we got 8 over 20. And this is how you answer a question like this. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time.